Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to my live. And if you happen to be catching me later, welcome to the replay. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Couture. So tonight we will be doing a fun project with one of the creative Kickstart transfers. But first, let me know in the comments when you hop on. Say hi. Tell me where you are watching from. And kind of let me know maybe what you did this past weekend. I hope you have all had a great start to this new week. I also want to let you know that I am live in 3 locations this evening. I'm live on my Facebook business page. I'm also live in my private Facebook group, and I'm also live on my YouTube channel. I tell you that because if you hear me refer to a comment that you don't see in your comment feed, that person may be watching and commenting from a different platform. Also, if you're watching from my private group, make sure that you allow StreamYard access to your profile name. Otherwise, you show up as Facebook user in my comments, and I don't know who to say hi to. I see that Jason is on the other side of the door, and he says he loves my new backdrops. Again, I'm still playing around with my new craft desk that we put together a few weeks ago. I'm still trying to play with the background, so it's a little cluttered right now, but I hope to refine it. And this little blank space that's right there, I hope to add some pictures and garlands soon of some of the stuff that I make. But I'm also playing around with lighting, so let me know what you think. Let me know if you like camera angles, all that kind of thing. But so we'll go ahead and we will get started. Oh, also make sure that you spread some of the Chalk Love around Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching. Mash that heart button, hit that like button, tag any of your crafty friends. That helps my channel, that helps me build subscribers, and it just, I just want to share Chalk Couture with everybody because it's such a great product, especially if you have limited time, if you have maybe a limited budget, if a blank surface like, if you look at a blank surface like this and don't say, I don't know what the heck to do with that, Chalk Couture transfers are a great way to overcome that blank surface intimidation that some people have. Also, if you don't have a lot of time, Chalk Couture makes for very easy and quick craft projects. And if you don't feel very crafty, you can use Chalk Couture transfers straight out of the package the way they are, and as you get better acquainted with the products, you can mix and match. So any crafting ability is welcome. I see that Amanda has hopped on, and if Oliver and Thea happen to be watching, hello to both of them as well. So I'm going to flip my camera. Let's see. I'm going to do it this way so you can see what I'm doing from above. Again, make sure once you hop on, say hi in the comments. So I used this transfer on Saturday. This is the Feels Like Sunshine transfer. It is part of the Creative Kickstart. It is only available through January 31st or as supplies last. It is a size B transfer. And then let me go ahead and show you. I can't reach them. It also comes with, I can do it this way. You can also get wooden cutouts that go along with it. So there's the Feels Like Sunshine, which is the rainbow. Every Day is a Fresh Start is the other transfer. And then there's an add-on kit that has the wooden rainbow cutouts and the felt floral accessories. Those are available to purchase retail. You're also able to get them for free. You can spend $60 and get the rainbow transfer, spend $75 and get the rainbow transfer and the Fresh Start transfer, spend $90 and get both transfers and the add-on kit for free. So those are super cute. But today we're just going to be using the rainbow. So what I did is I picked the lightest color that I had in my arsenal. I chalked it on some watercolor paper, and then I cut around it, and I used that to make a template to cut out a rainbow out of 1/4-inch laminate or floor underlayment, so it matches up perfectly. And then I cut a bunch of holes, and I'll show you how I've done those later. And so then we'll be able to use the transfer straight on the wooden cutout. But first, I see that Chris is on. Hello. First, we're going to paint the wood cutouts. So I have cut these out with a jigsaw. I sanded them. They're super smooth. So we're going to paint this one with acrylic paint and a baby wipe to give kind of a faux stain. And then this one I'm going to paint with white chalk paste. Excuse me. A little froggy this evening. So I'm going to don gloves because painting with a wet wipe can get kind of messy. Let me go ahead and grab a wet wipe while I'm at it. And you can just use any standard wet wipe. You could probably even use a Clorox wipe if that's what you have. And you can use any crafter's acrylic. I just happen to like these out of the art department because they're a little bit thicker, so they're not as watered down. And I use like a burnt or a raw umber, and that's going to be your main color. So let me get quite a bit. And then you just want a little bit of black, not a lot. I'm just going to put a little tiny amount. I don't even know if you can see that. There's just a little tiny amount on the top, and you don't want to mix it together. You kind of want to swirl or marble that black in. What it's going to do is it's going to create kind of a second tone with that black to give you kind of the, I don't know, it gives it more, it just gives the color a little bit more, excuse me, depth. It doesn't make it look like, kind of gives it that stain variation that normal stain would. But because it's watered down and it's acrylic paint, it's going to dry a lot faster than stain, and it's also not toxic, or you don't have the horrible fumes. So you're just going to take your baby wipe, and you're just literally going to wipe it on. And the color is going to depend on how much paint you have on your wipe, and then how many times you go over that same area with the wipe. Sorry, I've got to block somebody. I'm probably going to get my sleeves in it. So you just kind of wipe it on. Turn it around this way. And just kind of wipe it over the wood. You want to get the sides. I'm not going to worry about inside the holes because those will all be covered up. Oh, excuse me. Trying to get all the... And once it dries, you can go over it again if you want, but you don't have to. So there's that. And as it dries, it may not be as streaky. Let's go over it a little. There. Okay, so I'm just going to lay that to the side. I'm going to take these off so that I can reuse them again later. So has anyone else tried the painting with a wet wipe technique? I like it. I don't always necessarily like using stain, so it's a great alternative. So now I'm just grabbing a paintbrush, and this is a paintbrush out of the artist tool set. So I'm just going to I'm going to grab another color tray. Excuse me. And you can actually, let's try it straight out of the container and see. Nope, it's pretty thick. Let's see if we can spread that out a little bit. Okay, so let's add some. Jason says, I just like that your little, you just like all of my little tricks and hacks. They're not mine. I stole them from somebody else. So I'm just going to grab some chalk paste. I'm going to water it down. It's because I live on Pinterest and social media and I get all these ideas from somebody else. And I've got to block somebody else. So I'm just watering it down with some distilled water. And I'm using distilled water so that I can put it back into my container when I'm done. That way, these are all natural products. If you add in regular water, you have a higher chance of mold and mildew growing. It's still pretty thick. Hey, Ashley. How are you doing this evening? There, that's a little better. Whew. Okay, I gotta add a little bit more water. It's pretty clumpy. So I'm just painting this with watered down chalk paste. The other one I used a mixture of brown and a little bit of black acrylic paint, and I used a wet wipe to apply that. First, I probably should have used like a sponge because now I've got wet paint in all of those holes. What Ashley says she's watching a movie. I'm doing good. What movie are you watching? And I should have done the edges first. I should have done the edges first so that I had a dry place to hold on to my rainbow. I always forget. And get all that out of the holes. Ashley, the movie is Free Guy. I have not heard of it. I have no idea what that one is. Okay, so we'll let that one dry. I've got paint all over. Okay. So I'm going to dry the back of this one. Ashley asks where I got the wood cut out. I actually painted it, or I actually cut it out with a jigsaw. So I chalked it on a piece of watercolor paper, and then I cut around the rainbow image, and it left a pretty good border. And then I had some 1/4 inch underlayment out in the garage, so I cut it out with my jigsaw, and then I drilled the holes. You can see I drilled the holes. That one was a little wonky. It was a nice shape to practice some more jigsaw skills. Okay, so I'm just going to slap a little bit of paint on the back side real quick. I shouldn't have taken my gloves off. Thanks, Ashley. Let's put our gloves back on. Okay, so again, this is just our brown acrylic paint and a wet wipe. Ooh. My drill really ate up. It splintered the back when I drilled the holes, but hopefully all of my little embellishments at the bottom will cover all that up. So I'm just going to work that paint into those little splinter marks. There we go. Oops. You see it made it lighter when I used the clean part of the wipe, and it wiped away a lot of the paint. So you can make it as light or as dark as you want, depending on, and that just kind of is determined it is determined by how clean your wipe is, how wet your wipe is, how many times you go over it. Actually, let's see what happens if we try to apply the white paste with the wipe. Let's see what happens. It's not quite dry. Let's try that. Okay, so let's give it a whirl on the back side, and hopefully it'll cover. I had drawn another template on the back, but let's see if maybe it covers it up. Okay, so I'm just going to dip my wipe into this already watered down paste. And nope. Let's try it in the regular paste. I don't necessarily want it to be perfect, and I may have to put just put some felt on the back or something to cover all that up. Yeah, it'll work, but so that's the nice thing, you know, you could stain with like red paint or blue paint or, you know, any purple paint, and it's just going to give you that stained, watercolor kind of look. Okay, so we'll just let that dry. So white's doesn't work as well. But thought I'd give it a try. Okay, so let's see if we can finish painting this real quick. I just want to try to cover up those pencil marks if I can. So anybody do anything fun this weekend? I got quite a bit done yesterday. I got some boards sanded that have been painted. Just got to sand them so I can chalk over them. I've had them since June maybe or earlier. I was trying to get some unfinished projects done. Okay, so let's let that put that over there. Let that dry. Amanda says that Oliver said he likes your painting. Thank you. Okay, that's mostly dry. So I'm going to put the white one to the side somewhere. Let's finish drying this one. I want to make sure that those holes are dry. And the back side needs to get dry. Hey, Oliver, do you have a joke for us tonight? Okay, so now I want to wax it. So I'm just going to use the surface wax. Well, actually, no, I'm not, because it's out of stock again. They can't keep it on the shelves. So you can use any kind of finishing wax, like this Minwax works. There's also some paint-on waxes. I've seen people use like a Dixie Belle wax. So if you can't get the Chalk Couture wax, you can always use some other wax. So the wax is going to kind of put a barrier between this wood surface and my transfer so that my transfer doesn't stretch. And actually, I'm not going to put... so that my transfer doesn't stretch when I pull it off, and it doesn't pull up any wood fibers. See if I can get this good and dry. So I'm just kind of melting that wax in now. And speaking of wax, there's going to be a new wax applicator coming out on the 8th. Okay, here's Oliver's joke. Why did the bike refuse to move? So does anybody know that joke? Why did the bike refuse to move? Why did the bike refuse to move? I don't know, Oliver. I don't know that one. Why did the bike? Because it was too tired. That's funny. I love your jokes, Oliver. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Okay, I think I've got that good and buffed in. I think I may have actually used too much. Well, hopefully my transfer will stick and my paste will stick. Okay, so I'll put that away. Let's bring out our transfer. And I have already used this once, so I am not going to fuzz it. And the transfer is mostly see-through. I'm just going to pick it up a little bit so I can see through the teal portion of the transfer. Slightly crooked. That looks really good. Okay, so I'm going to burnish it down and make sure that the silk screen is nice and smooth. And so on this one, we're going to use raspberry sorbet, guava, sunny side, which I think I put the wrong yellow in the cart link, and then Couture teal. And then for the words and the polka dots, I'm going to use white. So we'll get those out. Guava is a little thick. I may have to work on that one a little bit. Everything else should be good. Okay, so I'm going to grab my water and a thicker, it's a little thick, but I think we're good. I'm just putting a little bit of distilled water in it. It's older, so it's firmed up a little bit. I may have to get a new one. So this is what happens to the older paste. They kind of seize up a little bit. Usually you can bring them back to life with some distilled water. I'm going to end up making a mess. I'm going to move that out of the way because I will probably splash. It's going to be a little lumpy, but it's better than it was. we can use the squeegee to smooth out any of those lumps. I probably need to buy a new one. And see, I made a mess. Okie doke. I think we're good to go. So my first color is going to be raspberry sorbet. So I'm just going to dip my squeegee into the chalk paste. This is a liquid form of chalk. It goes on wet and dries hard to the touch and mostly semi-permanent, depending on the surfaces that you use it on. Because this wood is porous, it's typically kind of a one and done kind of surface, but on chalkboards, glass, and metal, you can redesign and remove the design on those surfaces. So I'm just taking my squeegee and running it along the silkscreen material. And now I'm just going to try to get all of those squeegee lines out. And I'm going to put any excess back in my jar. And then I'm just going to release the silkscreen from the color, just so that it doesn't dry in the silkscreen material. And then I'm just going to let it lay back down. And so then I will do the guava. Same thing, I'm just dipping the squeegee into the paste. See my squeegee, it is a little chunky, but my squeegee is able to smooth all that out. Whew. Kind of tight quarters getting this one done. Okay. So we've got the guava done. So I'm just going to release the silk screen from the chalk paste. And then we'll do our two inside. I'm going to grab a multi-tool. So now we can do our sunny side. And I do have all of the supplies linked in the description of the video, except that I think I linked bumblebee paste instead of sunny side. But you can just exchange the two. And then because these transfers are a customer facing special only, I was not able to add them to the link, to the cart link, but they are linked further down in the description, and you can certainly add them to your cart. I just wasn't able to. And then let's clean this one off. And then I'll just use it for the teal. So I'm doing the same thing. I've got this little tiny squeegee. I'm just gonna do the inside rainbow. I really like this multi-tool. It's just a lot like using a pencil. There's a lot you get a lot of control. It's really firm. There's not a lot of give to it. And I can reuse that for the white. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of hold on to it to make sure it stays in place. I'm going to release that side. And then I'm going to release this side. And then I'm going to burnish this portion. And then I'm going to burnish the polka dots. And then we'll go in with the white. So I'm just using the multi-tool to go around where the text is. And it says, stay close to people who feel like sunshine. And then we'll go in to the polka dots. Not too much. Okay. Okay, so now we'll pull that up. Okay, let's stick that in my water and I'll show you how to clean that here in a little bit. The stain's a little darker than I was anticipating, but it still works. Just gonna put the lid on all these. Out of the way. Cleanup is super easy. Okay, let's give this a dry. Thanks, Amanda. There it is up close. The camera makes it darker than it really is, but it's still dark. Okay. And there is, I forgot to point out, you can replace the text with this one. It says something beautiful is on the horizon, and it doesn't go all the way down, so you can add these little, let me show you, you would add these like this to make it go all the way. I mean, not technically like that, but that's what these little pieces are for. It's to finish out that stripe of the rainbow. So that's super cute. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to clean the transfer. Let's get all of this out of the way. So I just have a little bucket over here. You can use a bucket. You can take it directly to a utility sink, a kitchen sink, bathroom sink, shower. Pretty easy to clean. I'm just rubbing it on the bottom to kind of scrub that chalk paste off of the surface. And then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to take the board eraser, which these work on your boards, and they also work to clean the transfers. So I'm just going to pull it across the transfer. I do have a hold. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. I have a hold of the top part of the transfer. It kind of helps keep it from stretching different directions. And so now I'm going to take it out of the water. I'm going to put it on my towel. Put this away so I don't spill it. So I'm just going to clean it a few more times. And it's okay if the teal part stains. You just don't want your silk screen to stain. You want to get as much of that color off as you can. And then let's grab one out. I'm going to take a disinfecting wipe. It's different from the wipe that we painted with. I'm going to turn it. I mainly want to do the back. And this will get your Luna hairs on here. I want to get all of that fuzz and the wax and any paint or stain that may have lifted off of the back of my transfer. And then you can leave it to air dry sticky side up for maybe 5 minutes. But because I forget that I have them laying out, I'm just going to put it right back on the backer sheet, and you can let it dry this way. And then once it's dry, it's ready to store away, just like that. So let's move this out of the way. Make sure this is good and dry. In fact, let's just move this out of the way. Okay, so we'll bring this back in. And then the holes, I'm going to add some yarn. Hopefully. In my head, it's going to work. We'll see. I probably should have made bigger holes, but I didn't. Okay, so I've got this crinkly yarn. Kind of reminds me of fluffy clouds. Just kind of eyeballing. I'd rather have these strands longer than shorter because I can always cut them off. So I'm going to try 4 at a time, and we'll see what happens. It may be too many to get through here. So I've got 4 strands, and I thought maybe I could use this pipe cleaner as a quasi needle. We'll see. And I'm going to do a Lark's head knot, which is basically just a slip knot. So you want to take your loops, I think, through the back side. It does work. You're a genius, Harry. And I think 4 is going to be enough. So then you've got your loops. And you're just going to take, easier said than done, the ends of your yarn. Nope. I want it the other way. These darn YouTube trolls. So nope, I'm going to take it to the back. So let's get our little needle out again. Yeah, I was trying to think what would work, and I remembered I had a pipe cleaner laying around. I knew I couldn't jab them through. So I've got my little loops back here, and I'm just going to take the tails of the yarn. There we go. And so then we've got a strand. And I don't remember how long I made those. But we'll cut them off so that they're all the same at the end. And for, oops, I'm all discombobulated here. Thanks, Jason. Okay, so we've got our little needle here. And I took it to the back, right? Yeah. It's so much easier than trying to jab it through. So then I've got my loops here. So if you've ever done macrame, it's kind of similar to that. And there you go. There's your next row. I probably should just guesstimate-ish. So it's a little easier. Okay. So I have to add a little for the loops. Amanda says, good idea. Hey, whatever works. Okay, so again, we're going to poke it through the back. We're going to so then we've got our little loop here, and we're just going to take, getting too many tails. We're just going to take our tails, and we're just going to pull it like that. Okay. Sounds like Mr. Dane's home. Sorry if it sounds like I'm now swimming. He just got home. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I've got my loops again, and I'm just going to pull my tails through my loops. Ah, dang YouTube trolls. Sorry, I probably should have had these cut ahead of time. So again, I've got my little pipe cleaner needle, just kind of helps get that yarn through the back. So I just pulled my tails through my loop. So I made these they're about 21 inches long, but if they're too long, we can always go back and cut them if we need to. So again, make sure you hit that heart button, hit that like button. If you like this project and you think more people should see it, spread the chalk love around, tag your crafty friends. thought I lost my needle. I should have picked a different color. White on white's kind of hard to differentiate. So I have my tails. I'm just going to take my tails through the loops. A couple more, 4 more. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way, if Facebook ever gets wonky, you can head on over there to watch my lives. I've got tons of past videos that you can watch. Amanda says that would be cute to hang Thea's bows on. That would be cute. You could even use, instead of yarn, you could use like that grosgrain ribbon that's thicker. That would be cute. That is a cute idea. I have a third one over here. I could certainly see how that would work. So again, I've been putting 4 together. I probably could have done more, but I didn't know how well this would go. I was worried about how my needle idea would work, and it works great. So a couple more. So I just have pulled my loops through, and I'm just gonna put my fingers through the loops, and I'm just gonna grab the tails, and I'm just gonna pull. So last one. Jason says, that looks awesome. Well, thank you. Again, loops, grab the tails, and just pull it through. So there you go. Let's put that away. So there is our finished piece, and I will, we'll probably need to trim it. So let's go back here and remove this. So here it is. I just got to figure out how to hang it. I don't know if I should add beads with some twine. Oops, I do need to cut those though. Let's cut the ends of these. I forgot about that. Now that they're all on there, there's a loop on each one that I need to cut. Forgot about that. Ashley says, I love it. Thank you. I saw a designer do this. She did the tassel one that I did on Saturday on a pillow on a piece of canvas, and that kind of got me to thinking about Saturday's project. So I did the faux tassels on a palette sign, and then this idea kind of came to me. as a result of that other project. So what I'll probably do is I'll have to trim some of them. But this is what we have with all of our cute little, you think it's too long enough? I do need to trim it. So what would happen if I fold it? This probably isn't the best way to trim it. I need some good scissors, but I can't find my good scissors. Better than it was, at least. So there, it's a little more even. Of course, I think they're too long enough. Amanda says super cute. Thanks. I appreciate all your support. It is, I do actually really like it. I love when an idea comes that you have in your head comes together. Yay. So I do have 2 more of these, so I'll probably finish them up. I might do different color combinations. I might try to, I gotta figure out a way to, well, let me show you the, oops. I don't know if you can see, it's really splintered on the back side. So I think painting it helps to cover all that up. So I've got 2 more to finish. So I'll probably have a couple of these at CJ's. And then I have vendor bingo on the 5th. So I'll have 1 or 2 of them there. So Ashley says I think they're long enough. Okay, well, I'll leave them that way. But again, remember, just want to remind you about the Club Couture transfer. I'll be using it again on Saturday's project. So be looking for that. I will be live again on Wednesday at 7:45 Central Time. I'll be doing hopefully a Valentine garland. And then on Saturday, I will do a cute little faux tobacco basket with some little banners and maybe some felt flowers. And we'll use a portion of this Club Couture transfer, which this is what it looks like. Again, we've got the Creative Kickstart transfers available. There are also re-releases of the Creative Kickstart designs from the past. Those are 20% off for regular customers. They are 50% off for Club Couture members. So you could use, you could use these as your purchase towards getting these transfers for free. And if you have any questions, just holler at me and I will get you that information. But I will see you again on Wednesday at 7:45. Remember to hit that like button, spread some chalk love, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your evening.